Alright, this is the U series auction. First item, U01, is a Georgetown corner tang. This is a Georgetown black, kind of difficult to work. It's got crystal pocket right there. Difficult because it breaks really easy. Snaps in half easily. I try to thin it down as best I could. All right. This one is 4 1/8 by 1 7/8. Okay. Next item is a, let's see, this is a U02. This is Techovas jasper. It's a bandy type from Texas. Techovas jasper, in case you don't know how it's spelt. It's a heat treat. It's kind of an artsy piece as well. I took some liberties with the serrations and stuff. I think the actual bandies had pointed serrations. All right. Let's see. 2 3/4 inches long. This next one, U03. This one is an art piece. It's made from basalt, high grade basalt, black, obviously. Well, 2 3/4 if you include the barb. Just out of curiosity, 172 grains. Next item, U04. This is also Techovas jasper. Techovas jasper. It's kind of rare these days, but I had a friend of mine send me a batch that was a little bit difficult to work. I heat treated it. This was a long time ago though, years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, it has a pocket of powdery, chalky stuff right there, so it's, the sharpness is not as good in this area as it is down here. This is kind of just a stem to point, kind of like a Castroville sort of thing, but I just tried to maximize the amount of material I could use, you know, try to maximize this biface, and then just put some notches in it. So yeah, I think I mentioned it, it's a heat treat. Almost 3.5 by 1 15/16. This one's 526 grains. Grains is not grams, just keep that in mind. All right. U05 is an art piece, just a small piece of Techovas jasper. I've got mostly small pieces of this jasper. I think the other one, the previous one, is the largest spall that I had. So yeah, this is just an expanding stem artsy piece that I like to make. U06. This one's made of Kaolin chert. It's also a heat treat. It has some really nice colors to it. Orange, red, pink. Sometimes it naps really well and sometimes it doesn't. And there's a different consistency between this stuff down here and this stuff up here. The darker stuff is more chalky. The lighter stuff is more flaky, but it's still, I didn't want to risk it, so I left it kind of thick near the base or near the stem. I didn't want to risk getting it too thin. I think I broke the tip off once because it is chalky, this red stuff, but it looks pretty good. It's more translucent than the Techovas jasper. The Techovas is not translucent. Okay. All right, the next item, we got boxes now. U07 is a box of Debitage flakes of various types. We got some raw Buffalo River. This is the same color as some raw Texas tan chert. You can tell the difference once you get it, but it looks to be the same color. This is Buffalo River. These are all what I call Debitage flakes. This is Texas chert. We got some Georgetown. These are a little bit bigger than Debitage, so you'll be able to make some fairly decent size points. I'm going to go through these quickly. I think that's the largest flake. These Georgetown flakes, there's different grades, so I put in all sorts of different grades. Some really high quality, some kind of tough. So all different grades of Georgetown. I put a lot of this Georgetown black stuff in here. It's very easy to pressure flake. Percussion flaking is a little risky on that stuff. But that Georgetown black is the same stuff as this corner tang is made from. All right, so I got that. Got little pieces of raw Horse Creek. I get confused between Horse Creek and Buffalo River, but this is raw Horse Creek, the red type. Debitage flakes. Rainy Buttes. Debitage flakes. Some of these are, well, if you got some practice, you can make something fairly good size out of that one. I put a lot of Buffalo River in this particular box. This is all Buffalo River chert. Right there. That's raw. This is some kind of powdery, not too many of these, but this is kind of powdery, semi-easy to flake. It's just raw chert, one of the Texas raw chert. Everything is raw in here, as far as I can tell. The whole batch. But you can heat treat some of it. You can heat treat, well, I don't know about this powdery stuff, but you can heat treat this Texas chert, this stuff. You cannot heat treat the Rainy Buttes. I don't recommend heat treating this Georgetown black. It's already very, very easy to nap. You can heat treat. I recommend heat treating this raw Buffalo River. Same with the raw Horse Creek. I do recommend heat treating at least some of these to see what it flakes like. All right, and this Georgetown, it doesn't need heat. These Georgetown flakes, they don't need heat. All right, so that's as much as I can cram into this little flat rate box. All right. That was the U07. Okay. Next one, U 08 is a box of Bifaces and some large flakes. All right, so these flakes are a little bit larger than the Debitage flakes. This is Georgetown Black. This is West Texas Heat Treat. A couple of large flakes of Buffalo River chert. This is a Mystery Texas chert. I think I did heat treat this. This is a Texas heat treat. Another Texas heat treat, same material. Let's see, I'll give you an idea. This one's a little over 4 inches, 2 3/4, 3 1/4. I just threw that in here. It's got a pocket that's a little dicey right in there, but if you thin it down a lot, it'll go away. It looks like. All right, medium quality raw. That's what MQR is. This one also probably a medium to high quality raw. Texas chert. These are mostly from Texas. This is a Texas raw tan chert biface. Another piece of Texas chert. This is a Texas chert heat treat. Very, very nice to nap. It's a peanut buttery type stuff. High quality raw Texas chert. I don't know. This is a mystery chert. It's more quartz like, right? But it does nap fairly easily. I would, upper side of the nappability. Above, it's more than a 5. It's probably a 6 or a 7. Piece of Techovas jasper heat treat. Just a chunk of it. Texas chert, probably raw. Texas chert heat treat. Texas chert raw. It has some concrete-y type areas. Texas root beer looking thing, raw probably, yeah. And another piece of that peanut buttery Texas heat treat. Very nice to nap. All right, one of my favorites. But I'll let you guys experiment with it. I don't really like parting with it. Oh well. I need to round out what I'm offering in the auctions, so I include those. Okay. The next box is U09. Now this is Brooks. A lot of broken pieces as I was attempting to nap. Some of them are not broken, but they might have issues. All right. This one is a corner tang made from very difficult to nap chert. But I just went ahead and napped it anyway. It has a lot of step fracturing and stuff. But, I just made a corner tang out of it. There's nothing really wrong with it except for the poor quality of flaking because it was so difficult to nap. But you can get the general outline if you wanted to make one of these. All right. Another one. This is not broken, but I didn't like it. I broke the tip off a couple times. It got kind of small. I broke off that little serration right there. That one right there. So I'm putting it in this category with brokes and bifaces. So I think these two are the completed points. This one's 4 1/4. All right, the rest of these are just pieces that I broke while napping. A lot of times I'll nap these into smaller pieces. This is all Techovas jasper. Let's see. I got this other broke one here. This is raw Horse Creek. Yeah, this is Techovas jasper. This is heat treat, similar to alabates. This kind of stuff I got with a box of alabates from a friend of mine a long time ago, and I heat treated it. It's very poor quality, but you can get some flakes off of it and experiment with it. It is a heat treat, alabates type stuff. All right, I think that's it for the Techovas jasper. Techovas right there. This is a heat treat that I broke right there, so this is a piece of Georgetown. I think I was messing, trying to make something out of it. Snapped it. It was my fault. I was really aggressive with it. But it's good to experiment with. Nice piece of Georgetown. This one was a heartbreaker for me because I was trying to make something good out of it. And it snapped right there. My fault. It's not the material. The material is raw. It's not too bad. It's a little bit dry. But you can probably get a couple points out of it. This is a heat treat. That's interesting stuff. But I didn't want to mess with it. I saw a little bit of issues in the middle here. It's got some cortex penetrating into the actual piece itself a little bit further down than I would like, because I wanted to thin it down. And when you have cortex, you have weak areas and it'll snap in half the thinner you go, because of the cortex. This one is just a Texas heat treat. Snapped it. This one is my fault as well. I was trying to do a lot of points this time, and I ended up rushing and snapping a lot of my flakes. This is a black butter dacite. So in case you guys are curious what that is, this is a broken piece from a long time ago. I don't know where it was in one of my boxes, or one of my buckets of flakes. This is a nice heat treat that I also broke while I was in a hurry. Texas heat treat. Another broke in a hurry type stuff. Very similar. All these little Texas heat treats are very similar. Very nice to nap. This one is a large powdery, chalky, nasty chert, but I have a lot of it, so it's the same type of stuff as the corner tang here. It's very difficult to run flakes on, but the flaking is not too difficult. So, I mean, the general flaking, the thinning flaking is difficult. The general flaking is not too bad, but this time there was a quartz pocket in the bottom, so I snapped it off while napping. I don't know where I hit it, but it just popped right off. Anyway, it's an interesting piece. Hopefully, to somebody. It's a non-translucent chert. It was like 5 inches. Glue it back together, I guess. This is a piece of raw Owl Creek. Yeah, easy to nap. So just in case you're curious, you want to nap that. All right. I think that's it for this box. Yeah, that's as much as I can cram in there. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to get any more in there. All right. Sometimes I'll add extra flakes if I have room, but this one, well, we'll see. I might be able to add some flakes. All right. Last item is bigger spalls. U10. This is bigger spalls of various cherts. Okay? Raw. I think these are all raw pieces, except maybe this Techovas jasper spall. All right. That one. This one was a Techovas jasper spall, one of the biggest ones that I had left. Not quite as big as the one I made this out of, but I'm going to let this go just for you guys who want to experiment. All right, this one is a raw tabular chert. It is on the lower end of quality, like a 5 or a 4 as far as nappability. It's kind of tough. It will run long flakes though. You know, you can run long flakes, but the reason why I rate it so low is because it has a tendency to be very steppy. All right. I know that contradicts itself. Long flakes, but steppy at the same time. Yeah, you'll find out. If you use a lot of power to run these flakes, you can run long ones. But if you just, like this one here, you'll get some of these if you don't have enough of a beefy platform and enough power in the strike. This is a raw piece of Texas chert. It's just a nice spall to start with. I wish all my spalls were like this, very lenticular, good size. You know, this is a great example of a really good spall. All right, so then I got two large spalls, semi-large, of Buffalo River, and I think this is heat treat. It broke really nicely. I was hoping for a couple of large spalls from this, and sure enough, yeah, I hit right in the middle, popped this thing in half. I was very excited, but I'll let you guys mess with it. Otherwise, I'd keep this, but I had to round out this particular auction. I wanted to offer some nice pieces of stone. This one is a, I think this is a heat-treated Texas chert. It's got a little bit of issues too. It's got fossils, or I don't know what, crystal pockets. Probably not fossils, but little pockets of crystal. Could be nice. Semi-translucent. And this is a piece of chalky chert that the corner tang was made of. It's steppy, but you don't have to use a lot of power to nap this, so I just included one of the spalls that I had. Okay, just in case you're curious. And with this, again, I think this is all this box can handle. Yeah, this is all it can handle. I might be able to get some flakes in between, but I'm going to have to put a lot of padding in between these because they're larger and I don't want them to mess up the box. Okay. You know, the post office might handle that one kind of rough, and if it's got heavy pieces, they need to be padded. All right, so rules. This is not a live auction. Auctions will begin at 12 noon on Mondays Eastern Time and end at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, these auctions have been taking up to 9 hours to upload because of my poor connection. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive to a place where there's a better connection and just sit it out and wait in the parking lot for this to upload. Shouldn't take more than 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. But a lot of times, especially lately, I'll be late. So it'll be afternoon, like 1:30 p.m. Eastern sometimes, up to 2 o'clock Eastern, because this slowness, even if I try to upload it overnight, sometimes it'll go, I said, like 9 hours. It's just ridiculous. Okay, anyway. Try not to bid at the last minute. I may not see your bids, or your bids may not post in time. Okay, just be aware of that. I'll be using YouTube's time tracker to be fair, but it's not always accurate. The reason why it's fair is because everyone can see it. Everyone can see how long or how old these bids are. The comments are your bids. Okay? Bid in the comment section. I will pre-populate the comments with the item numbers and a little timestamp where the item appears in the video. So you can just hit the number and it'll pop up into the right spot where that item is in the video. So you don't have to watch the whole video. Please bid under the appropriate comment. If you bid outside of the appropriate comment, I'll probably remove your bid. I'll write in your bid under the appropriate comment if that's the case. If you didn't figure it out already, just watch the other videos and look at the other comments in the auction videos. You'll figure it out. I'll monitor the comments periodically, but the best way to ask questions or resolve issues is to send me an email. I will announce the winner by commenting "sold, thank you." This is a generic cut and paste thing that I always do on all my winners, right? I just cut and paste this when you win the auction for that particular item. It says, please send me your name, address, and preferred method of payment to jackcrafty2@gmail.com. Don't forget the number 2. There's no way for me to send you a PM or a private message unless I have already have your email or I've done business with you. Some of you guys will pay without me sending you a PM. Some prefer that I notify you just to be sure. But I'll notify you in the comments. Okay, so keep track and watch the comments. That's where I'm going to notify you that you won. Okay, I can't send you a private PM unless I've done business with you before. Okay, in your email to me, please include your name, address, and preferred method of payment. I say this again because sometimes your YouTube name is different from your real name, is different from your PayPal name or your Cash App name or whatever. Just make sure you include this stuff so I don't get confused and I know who you are. All right. Shipping is free in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., I'll add $10 for a first class package. I'll add $20 for small priority flat rate boxes and $40 for a medium priority flat rate box. Okay, this is on top for international shipping. This is on top of your bid. If you bid $40 and I end up having to put all the stuff in a medium priority flat rate box, I'm going to put another 40 on top of that, so it'll be a total of 80 as an example. Okay, I accept PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, checks, or money orders. I can also send you an electronic invoice to your email that you can pay with a card, credit or debit. I will issue refunds if needed. If for some reason you cannot pay, I'll offer the item to the next highest bidder, and so on. I'll sign all items unless you don't want me to. Please let me know. I sign them with a drafting marker and brush a coat of varnish over the top so the marker does not rub off. But it can be removed if you want to remove it. Fingernail polish remover. Okay. Shipping will begin Tuesday after the auction. I will provide tracking numbers. Shipping will be done through the post office with first class package or priority flat rate boxes. I'll send you the tracking number in an email. If you don't see something you want, or if you have any questions or issues, please email me at jackcrafty2@gmail.com. If you have the winning or highest bid, just as a reminder, but I award the item to another bidder because I didn't see your bid, please email me and I'll try to make you a duplicate. I'll try. I'm running low on all the materials, so I may not be able to get you a duplicate. I have a large back order list of people that I owe points to, not necessarily because they want a duplicate, but because they're trying to order something on the side. I usually put those on the back burner. I've got to catch up with those, and those are using up a lot of my material. That's also a strain on being able to do duplicates. All right, so those are the rules. 10 items. Auction's over at 9 p.m. tonight. It's a Monday. 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific. Okay? Okay, good luck.